Welcome back. The Independence Care System, also known as ICS, makes it their top priority to serve people with disabilities by focusing on their health, mobility, and independence. Their latest initiative, On a Roll, dedicates time to assisting individuals who use wheelchairs. Jean Minkle, founder of the On the Roll program at Independence Care System, joins me today to discuss this program and their efforts to help wheelchair users. Jean, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, can you talk about the On the Roll initiative and basically what that is?
Sure. So On a Roll is actually a comprehensive mobility solutions program. ICS provides service, care coordination for people with physical disabilities, and a large number of our members have a mobility disability. So they're relying on a wheelchair as their primary means of getting around. And when you have the right chair, your ability to negotiate the world is significantly easier. So we actually have both a therapeutic clinician-run assessment center so that people have physical assessment, functional assessment. We look at their body type and configuration and make recommendations for what we call complex rehab technology. So a little different than what you might see at the airport or you might see at the Target with the little scooter. Our recommendations are individually configured to meet both the functional needs of people and the environments that they use. It's what I call the sexy end of our business because it's like the new car experience, but you then need to keep that vehicle, that device operational. And so the other half of our program is a repair program. And we started actually in conjunction with ICS, meeting the needs of our Medicaid population and using the Medicaid benefit to get people the right equipment and then keep it moving. As the need has grown, insurances are increasingly challenging to just the paperwork side of it. You need a doctor's prescription to get a wheelchair repair. So we wanted to offer, we have technicians, we have an infrastructure, we actually have vans in New York City that, if you live in the city and your chair breaks down, is not functional, many people in New York City don't have a private vehicle to then get that chair to a repair shop. So we offer this service now under a private pay program for people who have resources. And I want to underscore there's not a really large market here, and
Right.
that for better or for worse, a significant number of people with disabilities don't have that access.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who do, we wanted to make our technicians and our services available. So it makes it comprehensive in that way.
And something you said that stood out to me was that, like, when they have the right wheelchair. And I think that was so important because I think for a lot of people who, don't come into contact with wheelchairs don't often think about how the right one really makes a difference. What are some challenges people face, when they have to rely on a wheelchair that isn't right for them?
Oh boy. Well, let's start with just not being comfortable. I always like to refer, if you're a driver of an automobile and somebody else was in your driver's seat and it's like, oh, this isn't very comfortable. Well, if it's not set for your body and where your balance is, then you feel out of sorts. So at a very basic level, just comfort. Further, we have many more medical concerns when someone's a longtime wheelchair rider. So skin protection. Many of our folks don't have sensation, so their skin is at risk for having a pressure injury. So we look to have we call a support surface in that chair that protects the skin. And then many of our folks don't have the muscle power in their trunk to sit up against gravity. So we need to have external supports on the chair. So postural support, skin integrity, and then ultimately, where is it that you want to mobilize?
Right.
New York City is a really interesting environment. We have little elevators, the infamous, it's just one little step into our building. Well,
Right.
with a manual chair, someone might be able to pop that little step and be able to get in and out. Power chair, not so much. So environment of use as well as individual fit to the person.
Now, that really makes me want to point out the importance of realizing that, we don't benefit from a one size fits all approach in regard to this. Can you talk about how your organization is really highlighting that and making sure that every individual has a unique experience?
Absolutely. So, back to our audience, do you have one pair of shoes? Like one size doesn't fit all in our mobility. So, when we meet with a member or a client, there's an interview process. So, what is it you've tried in the past? What works for you that you don't want me to mess up? And then what is it that you hope to achieve by having either new seating system or new mobility device? So individual body type starts to contribute to the unique shapes and sizes, and physical capabilities. So a manual wheelchair rider, you need the wheel in the right place. My arms are not as long as David's arms were. So I need to be able to move that wheel into the right place. If I'm not able to use a manual chair, well, is a joystick going to meet your need? Where's the joystick located? And then we have advanced technology for people that can't use their hands. So one of our colleagues uses actually a straw and uses breath control, drive his chair. Fully functional, fully employed, drives around all the time using sip and puff. So access is individualized as well as the shape and size of the person and what is it they really want to do. I want to go where I want to go, when I want to go. And that's what we try and individualize.
Now, the program will teach people about wheelchairs and other equipment, which, you talked about so many different types. Can you expand on why, teaching people how to use the equipment was an important effort?
Sure. So we actually have a peer-to-peer wheelchair maintenance program, and it's wheelchair riders teaching wheelchair riders, which is just so cool to watch the learning go on. So a manual wheelchair rider gets a flat tire. What do I do now? Well, peers will say, you should have a little bag always with you. Spare tire, some tire irons, and now there's actually portable little inflation devices. Others, where's the serial number on your chair? If you know the serial number, you can get the parts much more accurately. Power chair users, how are you charging your battery? Are you doing it every night? How long should it last? What's the frequency in which you should be changing your batteries? And then no matter what kind of chair you have, there are nuts and bolts that need to be tightened up. So it's the equivalent of the oil change every 3,000 miles. If you once a month go around, tighten everything up, then you're not going to have that brake that falls off just when you're trying to transfer into a car. So day to day, month to month, and then just general cleanliness, just keeping the chair clean. People may not know that the casters on wheelchairs, they collect hair. So, and the hair becomes a grit, and then the grit gets in the bearing, and then it's not so easy to roll your chair anymore. Right. But if I take it out, and it's remarkable when we talk to people, it's like, oh, I have dog hair, I have cat hair, I have my wife's hair.
Right. Like, there's so many elements that even they probably didn't know. So that's why I think this is such an amazing initiative. What are the requirements to be eligible to be a part of this program?
So accessing On A Roll services, just a willingness and interest to access. We have as I say, the private pay program. The clinic is open to anybody with insurance, largely, because usually we're recommending pretty expensive mobility devices. But if someone makes a call to our clinic, we can do the insurance verification. In the insurance world, Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance will accept as many of those who we're in network with. Welcome to the real world. With regard to our repair program, private pay is an option for those who have the resources. And then for our Medicaid recipients, going through their Medicaid company, there is a network of durable medical equipment suppliers out there. So we're not providing service to every Medicaid recipient, but if somebody is interested and wants to join ICS to access this benefit, we do have a health home for people with long-term physical disabilities.
And I understand that you also assist people who may struggle with insurance providers. Can you quickly tell us about that effort as well?
you have another hour? But I'm happy to. Really what insurance is looking for is the justification, the written documentation that spells out why each piece of this piece of equipment is needed. So not only do we write up that information, but we then journey with the person. We need the doctor's prescription. We need the quote from the supplier, and we follow it through. And then most importantly, if it isn't denied, which is a frequent enough occurrence, we will actually go through the appeal process with you, as we feel really strongly that we looked at the original qualifications. We gave a description as to why you have a need, and then we will follow through the appeal. So unfortunately, an awful lot of people get, oh, I got a denial and that was the end of it. We will follow up with you all the way through the fair hearing process if we need to. So,
and this is just one of the many things that your organization does. Could you just quickly let people, for
Sure.
anyone who's watching, could you let them know like what else you do?
Sure. Independence Care System is a remarkable support organization for people with physical disabilities. We are actually now able to provide service in New York City, all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Orange County. And what we do is provide coordination of care. And as you said, our 3 pillars are health. So being sure that you have access to primary care, screening services, which aren't always available for people with physical disabilities, mobility, as we talked about with the On A Roll program, and then community, having a place to come and be with other people with the lived experience, so you don't feel like you're going this alone. So ICS provides that community that gives you the support.
Now, I think this is just, a really amazing organization. And I was really happy to hear about this initiative, because I think so many able-bodied people don't often think about, some of these things. So I think this is just like an amazing initiative. And I'm so glad that you were here to talk to us about it.
Thank you. We appreciate your interest. And really, anybody just give us a call. We're happy to direct your inquiry.
To learn more about On A Roll, please email them at onaroll@icsny.org or call them at 646-653-6266. And you can follow ICSNY on social media at ICSNY. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Open right after this.